The Young Inventor's Big Idea. Have you ever noticed a problem that everyone else seemed to ignore? What if that one simple observation could change thousands of lives? This is the story of Nolan Parker, a teenager with a curious mind, a garage full of old machine parts, and one idea that would eventually change everything.
Chapter 1. The Problem No One Noticed.
Nolan Parker was 17 years old and lived in the small town of Willow Creek, Colorado. Unlike most teenagers, Nolan wasn't interested in sports or social media. While his friends spent weekends playing video games, Nolan spent his time in an old workshop that once belonged to his grandfather. The garage wasn't impressive. The paint was faded, the floor was stained with oil, and shelves were packed with broken radios, old computers, batteries, wires, and tools. But to Nolan, it was paradise. Ever since he was a child, he had loved taking things apart to understand how they worked. Sometimes he fixed them, sometimes he accidentally made them worse, but he never stopped learning. One sunny Saturday morning, Nolan rode his bicycle into downtown Willow Creek. The town was buzzing with life. Families walked along Main Street. Fresh bread filled the air with its delicious smell. Farmers sold colorful fruits and vegetables at the weekly market. Everything seemed normal, until Nolan noticed something. An elderly woman was struggling to carry several heavy grocery bags. She walked a few steps and then stopped to rest. Nearby, an older man carrying groceries nearly lost his balance while walking with a cane. The stranger rushed over to help him. As Nolan continued walking through the market, he noticed the same thing again and again. Older adults carrying heavy bags, people stopping frequently to catch their breath, others struggling but refusing to ask for help. Most shoppers never paid attention, but Nolan couldn't stop thinking about it. That evening during dinner, Nolan was unusually quiet. His mother noticed immediately. "What's on your mind?" she asked. Nolan explained what he had seen at the market. His father shrugged. "That's just part of getting older." But Nolan wasn't satisfied with that answer. "What if it doesn't have to be?" he asked. His parents exchanged knowing smiles. They had heard that tone before. It usually meant one thing. Nolan had a new invention idea. That night he sat at his desk and wrote a question in his notebook. How can people carry heavy groceries without carrying them? At first, he sketched ordinary carts, then electric vehicles, then wearable support systems. None felt right. Frustrated, he tossed his pencil aside. The next morning, inspiration struck. While watching a video about robots, an idea suddenly appeared. What if a cart could follow a person automatically? Not pushed, not pulled, just follow them wherever they went. Like a loyal dog carrying groceries. Nolan immediately jumped from his chair. The idea felt right. For the next several weeks, he worked tirelessly. Every afternoon after school, he hurried to the workshop. He collected old motors, salvaged sensors, recycled bicycle wheels, and slowly began building. The first prototype crashed into a workbench. The second lost a wheel. The third spun in circles. The fourth refused to move. And the sixth somehow managed to run into Nolan's leg twice. Most people would have quit. Nolan didn't. Every failure taught him something. Every mistake brought him one step closer. Months passed. Then one evening, standing in his driveway, Nolan prepared to test prototype 11. The machine beeped. Ready. Nolan took a step forward. The cart followed. He turned left. The cart turned left. He stopped. The cart stopped. For several seconds, Nolan simply stared. Then a huge smile spread across his face. It worked. After months of frustration, it finally worked. And for the first time, Nolan realized that his little garage project might become something much bigger.
Chapter 2. The Competition That Changed Everything. A few weeks later, Willow Creek High School announced the Colorado Young Innovators Competition. The event attracted some of the brightest student inventors in the state. Nolan immediately knew he wanted to enter. His engineering teacher, Mrs. Bennett, was amazed when she saw the cart.
"You built this yourself?"
"Mostly," Nolan replied. She smiled. Nolan, this is incredible. For the next month, he worked harder than ever, improving the software, strengthening the frame, testing the sensors, preparing reports, creating presentations. The competition was approaching fast, and Nolan wanted to be ready. Finally, competition day arrived. Hundreds of students filled a massive convention center in Denver. There were drones, advanced robots, renewable energy systems, complex computer programs. For a moment, Nolan felt nervous. His invention suddenly seemed small, simple, ordinary. But Mrs. Bennett reminded him of something important. The best inventions solve real problems. And that's exactly what Nolan's invention did. When the judges arrived at his booth, Nolan demonstrated the Smart Assist cart. Everything worked perfectly. The cart followed him, avoided obstacles, carried heavy bags. Then one judge asked, "What inspired this invention?" Nolan smiled. People. He explained the farmers' market, the elderly shoppers, the struggles he had witnessed. The judges listened carefully. Then one nodded. "You're solving a real-world problem." Hours later, students gathered in a giant auditorium for the awards ceremony. The atmosphere was electric. Third place was announced, then second place. Only one award remained, the grand prize. The announcer opened the final envelope, and first place goes to Nolan Parker and the Smart Assist cart. The audience erupted into applause, cameras flashed, students cheered. Nolan walked onto the stage in disbelief. He had done it. He had won. But he didn't know that the biggest surprise was still waiting, because sitting in the audience was a representative from a major technology company, and she wanted to meet him. Chapter 3. From Garage Project to Real-World Innovation. A week later, Nolan and his parents visited Horizon Robotics. The company's headquarters was enormous. Engineers worked in high-tech laboratories. Robots moved through testing areas. Innovations filled every corner. Nolan felt completely out of place, until Rebecca Chen greeted him. "We're interested in your invention," she said. During a meeting, company executives listened as Nolan explained the story behind the cart. When he finished, Rebecca smiled. "Your invention has tremendous potential." Nolan was stunned. The company wanted to help develop it. Professional engineers, advanced testing, manufacturing resources, everything needed to transform his prototype into a real product. The following year was filled with challenges. The original design needed improvements. Batteries had to last longer. Sensors had to become smarter. Safety systems had to be perfected. The cart was redesigned again and again. But Nolan never gave up, because he knew why he had started, to help people. Eventually, the Smart Assist cart launched in several cities, and customers loved it. Older adults could shop independently. People recovering from injuries found daily tasks easier. Families discovered new uses for the technology. The invention was making a real difference. One afternoon, Nolan received a handwritten letter. Inside was a message from a 78-year-old woman. She wrote, "Because of your invention, I can shop independently again. Thank you for giving me confidence and freedom." Nolan read the letter several times. Winning competitions had felt wonderful. Receiving recognition had been exciting. But this was different. This was a real person whose life had improved because of an idea that began in a small garage. Years later, journalists often asked Nolan the same question: "What's the secret to creating great inventions?" His answer never changed. Stop looking for inventions. Look for problems. If you pay attention to people and find ways to help them, great ideas will find you. And it all started with one teenager, one notebook, one observation, and one simple question: there must be a better way.